Hello, everyone. Welcome. If you're watching this video, we just want to start by saying thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. We know that your time is very valuable, and we hope to provide you with valuable information and not just a lot of unnecessary fluff, but really our desire behind doing just this sneak peek is to let you see a little bit of who we are and why we love doing what we're doing. So this will not be a comprehensive, nitty-gritty, detailed video about what our company is or what they do or anything like that. Like, we have a very helpful 11-minute video that is in the sneak peek group that we encourage you to watch that has it's, in my opinion, it is all the information you need in a very short amount of time. Like, it's very, very condensed, and yet still communicates very accurately the ins and outs of our company and just kind of the details of what we do. But we want to share with you tonight just a little bit about who we are, our specific team, and what we think and feel about this business. And so I want to start by reading something to you again, just for the sake of time. If I were to just say it, I would ramble a lot. But I want to start by reading to you something that I wrote a few months ago that I really think is important for you to hear as you consider this business opportunity. And so I'm just going to read that, and then we'll jump in. So, have you ever not been looking for something? Like, you didn't realize you could add something else. Maybe your goal was to simplify, to do well what you'd already been given, and to focus in on what was already on your plate at the time. Yeah, me too. That's where I was about 2.5 years ago. I was not looking for this opportunity. I was not thinking I was missing anything. I was not looking for another place of ministry. I was not thinking I had room for anything else. I certainly was not perfect at what I had already been given to steward. There was plenty of room for growth as a wife and as a mom. I already felt scattered with my schedule and like I needed more organization and structure before I added anything else. So how could becoming a business owner and pouring into other people do anything but complicate and frustrate my life? I don't know if you're coming into this call and you can relate it all to that, or if that's kind of what you're thinking, but that's where I was at the start of this. But isn't it funny how the Lord places things in our hands and pushes us into places that we never would have gone or expected? I learned that I could be a wife, a mom, a student missions mobilizer, and this. I could also minister to other women and help them cultivate intentionality, especially in the areas of fitness and nutrition. I could also invest in others and walk alongside others and encourage them as I continued on my own journey of learning that fitness and nutrition affects every area of my life, one way or another. Just because I wasn't looking for it doesn't mean that it wasn't exactly what I needed or that it wasn't something that the Lord had designed. You might think you don't want or need this, but how can you truly know unless you genuinely consider it, learn the details, and pray about the possibility? It might be exactly what you need. Just because you feel full doesn't mean the Lord might not have something else for you. It might mean that you've gotten comfortable. It might mean that you could use some growth in the areas of your life you're already trying to steward. And it might mean that this opportunity is part of what the Lord desires to use to help you grow, to push you out of your comfort zone so you can continue becoming who He desires you to be. So why not consider it? So I just wanted to start with that in today's presentation because it shares a little bit of, like I said, where I was at the start of this journey. Maybe some of you can relate. In fact, I don't know anyone that walks around saying, oh, I've got so much time and space on my plate. What can I add? Or I've already perfected all these other things. What can I perfect now? Like, if that's you, maybe you don't need to join our team because we are far from perfection. But for whatever reason, I'm glad you're here. Whatever your level of interest, I want to, again, just thank you for taking the time to learn and consider this. I know I can speak for our entire team, and you'll get to hear from some of them in a minute. Don't worry, I will be quiet. But I can say that we fully believe that this opportunity is not for everyone. It might not be for you. So no one here is going to try to convince you of anything. But if you're here, it's because someone thinks it might be a good fit for you. So we appreciate you taking the time to prayerfully consider this opportunity. So we're going to jump in. I'm going to start by sharing my screen because I have a few slides I want to show you. And let's go up to the top. I just want to talk a little bit briefly about why this company. Let me start by saying that I love other MLM companies and many of their products. I was on the phone today for 30 minutes with a friend who works for another company, and I was asking her all these questions about these products that I've bought from her that I'm using every single day and I love. So some of my closest friends own businesses through MLMs, and I purchase products they sell, and I admire their desire to be an entrepreneur and provide additional income for their homes with products that I think are outstanding. I personally chose Team Beachbody because it provides the chance, in my opinion, to do a lot more than simply sell products. It has given me the freedom to really build a relationship with an individual and join them on a journey for a bigger purpose of living intentional lives that glorify the Lord through stewarding our health well. So each coach and business owner has the ability to do their business the way they desire. And just very briefly, I'll explain what my choice is. I believe that I'm in the business of helping others grow in God-honoring personal discipline in order to cultivate an intentional life that glorifies God. That's my vision. That's my purpose, my mission statement, I guess you would say. That bigger purpose is what fuels my desire to build a business as a coach. And it's not about rank or income, although we do celebrate those things and push for those things. And I do set goals around those achievements. But for me, it had to be much bigger than that. And my vision statement reflects the greater purpose and mission that I believe fuels all that I do and why I do it in regards to coaching. So just real quickly, briefly, a little about me. You'll see some facts there, but I basically started my journey in 2014 by trusting a friend who told me that I needed to invest in myself in order to better invest in my family. And at that time, I had an 18-month-old little boy, very energetic, passionate child, still to this day. My main motivation for getting started, honestly, was to lose weight and regain energy for him. And I never expected the strength I would gain, the mindset changes that would occur, and the connections that have been made in the process to spiritual stewardship. It truly surprised me along the way, and the Lord really continues to teach me through those connections, even now while being pregnant. So just real quickly, like I said, we're not going through the details and the ins and outs of what exactly the company and the coaching business entails tonight, but I do want to touch on this just real quickly. You're probably wondering, we talk a lot about helping people, like that's what we do. So what exactly does that mean? I often get asked if a coach has to be in peak physical shape or a certified trainer. And I just want to clear up a few of those misconceptions. A coach does not need to be a fitness or a nutrition expert. A coach does not need to already have achieved their fitness and nutrition goals, and they do not need to be an experienced salesperson. What a coach does need to be is passionate and dedicated to helping people achieve their goals, not the coach's goals, but each person's individual goals. They need to be consistently sharing how Team Beachbody can help change the lives of those they meet through building relationships and connecting with people to find out what their goals are to determine which programs would be right for them. In addition, they need to be committed to being proof the products work by using those programs every day. That includes drinking the shakes and working out. And finally, coaches need to be committed to consistently improving and developing themselves. Personal development is key in building confidence, setting goals, and helping coaches stay focused on the activities they need to complete to see their business grow. So, here's just kind of some benefits of being a coach. I'm going to kind of skim through that. But here are some quotes from our team, just why we love coaching. Lindsay, you're going to get to hear from her in a minute, but she wrote here, it pushes me to grow and get out of my comfort zone. And because it has led to such a wonderful community and purpose, I know she's going to talk about that specifically here in a moment. Ashley said, it gives me the opportunity to help people see that they don't have to hate working out or give up all the foods they love. So that idea of sustainability or balance. Jeffrey wrote, I love that I get to minister to old and new friends through the avenue of fitness. It often begins with fitness, but overflows to other areas of their lives. And then Lauren wrote, I get to watch people I care about discover strength, discipline, and endurance they never realized they had. It's so fun to see someone's mindset shift from simply losing a few pounds to truly desiring to live every aspect of their lives on purpose and with intention. So I'm going to now, let me make sure I'm on set with our agenda, but I'm going to let you hear from Jeffrey for a second. And she had some ministry stuff. She is a youth minister alongside her husband, and she had some ministry stuff come up tonight, and so was not able to join us, but she shot a quick video, and I'm going to play it. I hope it works where you can see and hear it. I'll turn it all the way up so that you can hear her. But she's just going to chat for a second about how coaching really can fit into any schedule. And so she has a very busy life, very busy schedule, a lot going on. And so she's going to talk about how you don't have to have 3-4 hours a day to do this business.
Not live tonight because I double booked my.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I'm Jeffrey. I'm one of the coaches on our team, and I am actually not live tonight because I double booked myself because I'm a student minister and a mom and a wife, and sometimes those things all overlap, and tonight is one of those nights. And so one of the great things about being a coach, and on this team specifically, is that coaching can fit into any schedule that you have. So like I said, I'm a mom. I've got 2 littles. I've got an almost 3-year-old, and I've got a 14-month-old that I'm chasing all the time. And then when I'm not with them, I'm doing student ministry. So my husband and I are co-student ministers together. He's full-time and I'm part-time with our kids the other part of the time. So life's really, really busy for us. And we're actually just coming out of a busy season with our summer. Summer for us, we're gone more than we are home, or if we are home, then we've got students over at our house or adults over at our house, and so it's a very busy time for us. But one of the great things that worked really well this summer is the fact that this business can be done in what we call power pockets of time. And so throughout the summer, for example, at camp, I was so worried about how I was going to work my business at camp. Still felt like that was something that I needed to do, but was really concerned about what that would look like. And so I would actually take 5 minutes here. I've got 5 minutes and I'm going to do some of my work. I've got 10 minutes here. I'm going to do some work. I've got 10 minutes right before I go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to do a little bit of work. And it happened. It worked. It was great. And I actually got paid every month in July. I got paid every week in July because I had chosen to work in those power pockets of time and to be effective and efficient with the time that I did have. So I want you to know that's totally doable. There's a lot of people on our team that will have a great morning routine and get up in the mornings, work out, have their quiet time, their devotion, and then they do their work hours. I do that on some days, and then on some other days, I get up and do my workout and my devotion, and then I'm working when I have time in the afternoon when my kids are taking a nap, or at night when my kids have gone to bed. And so this has been an opportunity that I didn't realize I could do with the time that I have. But I have loved it, and it's been great. And so regardless of what stage of life you're in, if you've got kids, if you don't have kids, if you are, we've joked with a friend that's single about how everybody thinks she has all this time, and she doesn't, because she's really involved in her church, and she's a teacher, and she's a coach. And so she's working this business in the midst of all of that. We have other friends on our team that are nurses, and so they're working their business on their off days. So it can be done because we choose to work and use our time effectively. And there's a lot of great resources that our team has that can help you to know what to do when you've got time. So I hope that's encouraging to you as you consider this journey.
Okay, awesome. So now I'm going to hand it over to Lindsay, and she is going to talk just a little bit about how this can give you a lot more than just income, and kind of how, I know for a lot of us that surprised us, just the different blessings that have come from coaching and the different things that the Lord has given us through it. So go for it, Lindsay.
Yeah, so when I first started coaching, I know we're going to talk about different levels of coaching later, and I've been all of them. So when I first started, my only goal was that I didn't want to have to budget in my own stuff. And so it was very money driven. And then as I went along, I kind of realized I enjoy helping people. This is actually really fun. And so that kind of is what made me continue to do it after I hit that initial goal. But what I didn't expect or realize are my favorite things about it. So when I first started, or before I started coaching, I was in probably the loneliest time in my life. We had just gotten married, moved to a new town that was my husband's hometown. So he knew everyone and had a routine, and I everything was new, and I didn't know anyone, and I didn't have any of my comfort zone was non-existent, and I was really, really lonely, and had experienced times in my life where I had really close friendships and really deep connections, and I was at the point where wished I hadn't had that because I knew what I was missing, and it felt awful. And I did not expect that to change when I joined a challenge group or when I decided to start coaching. But that's been one of the biggest things that I have gained from this. Once I decided to start actively coaching, I was thinking, oh, well, I'm doing this to help other people, for their benefit. But it ended up kind of being the reverse, where I gained this community of these amazing ladies, a lot of whom are doing videos or on this call. And it's just been such an answer to prayer, and such an unexpected, cool way that the Lord has given me friends and a community. Even we've moved since then, a lot has happened in the past almost 2 years that I've been coaching. And they've been consistent throughout that. But I think what's cool, obviously there's a unique kind of friendship that comes from doing something hard together and having any kind of shared experience, but especially if it's something that's hard and makes you grow. And so I think that is what makes these ladies, that some of them I have not met in person, or maybe I've only hung out with in person once or twice, but they know me and they get me because we're all doing the same hard things together. And because we all the thing that's really cool about our team specifically is that we do view it as a ministry. And so we understand the spiritual implications for everything. So if I'm having a bad day and I'm feeling really stressed about talking to people, or I said, it puts me out of my comfort zone. And on days that that's really hard and I am able to go to these other ladies and tell them, they don't say things well, you just need to try harder, or, oh, it'll be fine, just keep going, or whatever. It's not these empty phrases. They remind me of truth, and they remind me that that's okay that this is hard, and you're not supposed to be perfect, and the Lord is the one who is able to do this through you. And if you were all you have to do is be obedient, and whatever the results are is up to him. That's not in your control, it's not in your power. And so it's good for me to be reminded, not just stroke my ego trying to make me feel better, or appeal to my emotions, but it's so good to have this community that speaks truth into my life, both when things are hard and when we're celebrating. We're saying, I'm so glad that God did that. It's just such a cool community. And kind of going along with that is this sense of being a part of something that is bigger and that matters. I've always, for the most part, had jobs that I may have enjoyed, whether I enjoyed it or hated it, I've had both, I always felt like, well, like, what does this really matter? Like, the main goal here is for me to get a paycheck, and that's good. Like, I have to pay bills. They're important. But I've always wanted to do something that mattered and that really I felt like made a difference. And I am an introvert, so I didn't want to do something like on the grand scale, but this has been so cool. It was like, I can't remember who it was. It was on one of the like reasons why we love coaching. I can't remember who said it, but like, it doesn't stay with fitness. Like, exercise and eating healthy is important, and they are big things, and they are tangible things that affect a lot of areas in our life. But what's cool is that it never stays there. I end up, when I'm talking to someone about their like history of trying a workout program and it not working, or this cycle that they've been in of feeling like they can't do it, and they keep quitting and nothing's working. Like, what we end up finding out as we're talking is this like lack of belief in the Lord, or this like thing, that this sin issue that maybe they're struggling with, or a whole host of things. But like, it so easily goes deeper, and we get to minister to people not just on the physical level, but spiritual and emotional as well. And that is really cool and fun to watch, because like, it's not me that's doing that, it's the Lord working through me. And sometimes that is scary and uncomfortable, but it is so rewarding and so cool. And just like, I can't believe that I get to do that, and that I get to do it from home. Like, it's insane. So I think like those are two of the main things that I never would have expected, and wasn't necessarily even like going into it looking for those things, because I didn't know that was an option, or that was something that I could even expect from it. But I really think that, kind of like Jamie Lee said, like, the Lord wanted to use this in my life, and has, and I didn't know that. I just thought I was signing up for a month-long, exercise thing, and it's kind of gone from there. But yeah, I could go on, but those are the two main things that I have really like learned and seen and love about our team specifically, because I don't, like Jamie said, like, you can run your business how you want, and not all teams do it that way. But just because of how we are and what we believe and how we love people, I think that is something that's really unique to our team and has been a really big blessing to me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lindsay. And like, when we talk about our team, I should have mentioned this earlier, but we have mentor coaches that are like several levels above me in the business that I got connected to a couple years ago, just after a lot of searching and trying to find some help and some guidance. They are founding coaches. So they were among the first like 55 coaches that signed up with the company. However many years ago that the coaching opportunity started, 11, 12 years ago. And so they also are believers, and it has been so refreshing and helpful to have their guidance from the perspective of someone who has the same values and the same beliefs as we do. And so that's just something else that's super, super special and unique about our team. And I've even heard our mentor coach and her husband say that they've been around a while. They've seen a lot of coaches come and go. They see how a lot of different coaches run their organizations. And it's just something that I'm super grateful to be a part of, is being connected to them and their mentorship and their guidance. Now I'm going to let you hear from Haley real quickly, and I believe her video got cut off, but it gets through the majority of the information, and then I'll kind of wrap up what she was concluding with. But you may not know, there are 3 different kinds of coaches or levels of coaching. And like Lindsay said, she has been all 3 at one point. I have been all 3 at one point. The first level of coach, a discount or loyalty customer coach, I was for 2 years. I never had any intention of building this business. And we had some life changes happen and needed some income. And my husband encouraged me to look into it, and then the Lord took it from there, and it became a lot more, like Lindsay said, than just income. And so Haley's going to talk just a little bit about the 3 different kinds, and then I'll kind of wrap up the part of her video that gets cut off.
Hello, my name is Haley, and I am going to talk to you about the 3 different types of coaches, and then just kind of where I'm at, the type of coach that I am right now, kind of how I got here, and then where I see myself in the next 1, 3, and 5 years and beyond. And so really quickly, I'm going to just kind of tell you about the 3 different levels of coaching. So the first level of coaching is just what's called a discount coach. And what that means is that you just sign up as a coach, but you're signing up just to get the discount. So you're not looking to build a team. You're not looking to tell others about it. You truly are just signing up because you want the discount, which is great. When I first started Beachbody and coaching, I signed up just straight up as a discount coach because I was in college. And if you know any college student, you know that they live on a budget. And I was on a tight budget. And so any type of discount that I could get, that's what I wanted. And so when I first signed up, I was a discount coach, and I was a discount coach for probably about a year and a half. And I just straight up got discounts on my Shakeology every month, and I loved it. Then there's a second level of coaching that's called hobby coaching. And hobby coaching is basically someone who is not actively inviting to their team. So they're not looking to grow their team or grow or recruit people under them, but they are straight up just talking about it to people around them as it's brought up. So like they're not going out and telling really people about it, but if people bring it up, they tell them about it. And if someone wants to sign up, they might sign up someone up underneath them. But it is not someone who's actively building their team. They just do it as a hobby with close family and friends and people in their small circle. And then there's a third type of coach called a team building coach. And a team building coach is someone who is looking to actively build a team underneath them and around them. And so what that looks like is inviting people to join their team, connecting with people that they might not know, and building relationships with people so that way that they can build their team. And they're looking to make a business out of it.
Okay, so I hate that her last part got cut off. She is currently coaching a volleyball game, and so did not see my text to send the remainder of the video. But I think that's who Jeffrey was referring to in her video, as far as like one of our single friends who, you know, everyone kind of thinks she has all this free time, but she does not at all. But anyways, I do know, and I think she wouldn't mind me telling you this, that that she has big dreams with this business, and just the freedom that it can give her, and has some big goals that she's setting for the future, just in regards to just what her occupation may or may not be moving forward. So I shouldn't have stopped sharing my screen, because I am going to go back to the PowerPoint for just a moment, but I'd like to kind of segue that into what you can expect from our team as far as training. And I know Jeffrey mentioned this in her video, that you know, those power pockets of time, like we give you checklists to work from. Just, okay, when you get 5 minutes, what do you do? Like, how do you make sure that the time you are working is effective if you want to build a business? Because most business builders come into this not with a ton of time on their hands. Like they only have these power pockets of time. And so how do you build this business if you only have you know, collectively an hour's worth of time in a day to do it? Is it possible? Can it be done? And I can tell you from experience, as well as several people on our team, that it absolutely can. Not just to cover the cost of your products, but to grow your business and your team and an organization underneath you. And a lot of that is because of the support we have from our team, the training that's provided. You will not be having to guess at anything. You don't have to try and figure out what to do, when to do it, how to do it. We provide tools that train you and equip you. Now, you do have the freedom to do it how you want. And there is a little bit of a messy process as you figure out your voice and your brand and all of that. But it's something that I think the definition of entrepreneur should be like, you're just constantly growing every single day. Like I never woke up and said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur today. Like that's never been a dream of mine. And the thing that is perhaps the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is the most rewarding thing. And that is that you're constantly growing. You're constantly having to evaluate and learn, not just as a business owner and a leader, but as a person. And so it does produce a lot of character and is very, very rewarding. But just so that you know, like we do have a new coach basics training that you can go through. We have weekly team calls. We have group text that we do through an app for mentorship and accountability. That's been the most helpful thing, I think, for a lot of us. We have team retreats, leadership training. We have a Facebook team page, and then recognition and rewards, all sorts of fun stuff as being a part of our team. And like I mentioned earlier, we have a mentor team that we're a part of, a parent team that is just amazing and outstanding, and just super, super grateful for their leadership. So that's just a little bit about our team. And just to say, regardless of what level of coach you want to be or that you are interested in being, there's a place for you on our team. We love, there was a coach who came to Summit, our big annual training conference this year, who has always considered herself a discount coach, a loyalty customer coach. And she came because she lived nearby Indianapolis and wanted to kind of join us and hang out, and loved it. If you haven't seen her video yet in the sneak peek group, please check it out. It's Annie Weir's video. And she just shares like how she got something out of it, not as a business builder, and just realizing there's a place for her on this team, regardless of her level of interest in the business side of things. And so that is, that's not the culture of every team, but it is the culture of this team, and something we want to cultivate is there being a place for everyone, regardless of the season you're in or the level of involvement that you feel called to. But I will say this, just to be very frank and honest, if you're wanting to build a business, this business is built on momentum. And so it is very much like running up a downward escalator. If you stop for a moment, you'll be back at the bottom. And it seems to be harder and harder to build up that momentum again. So do people come in and out of different seasons where they're involved? Absolutely. But if this is something you're really wanting to build and grow, momentum is key, which does not mean that you do this 24/7 or that you never rest. If you know me at all, I'm so totally against that. I tell all of the business builders on our team to turn their notifications off, to have chunks of time where they put their phone in a drawer during the day, where they do not need to be connected. It's not about letting this consume you. It is about it becoming a lifestyle, but being very smart and disciplined in what you do and when you do it and how you do it. And so we are very, very passionate about training, in that way. So that is just, like I said, that's kind of our overview. That's everything that's on the agenda for tonight. What I encourage you to do after this video is please don't let the conversation stop. Like if you have questions, ask those questions. If you want to talk about, maybe if you want to move from a discount coach to a hobby coach or to a business builder, like what that would look like, reach out to the coach that invited you to this, to watch this video, and just continue that conversation. Like I said at the beginning, no one is going to try to convince you of anything. If they do, let me know, because that's not how we do things, because not everyone's called to this, and we want it to be something that the Lord places on each individual's heart if they want to build a business. And once you let us know you want to build a business, we will never impose our goals on you. Another thing I'm against, but we will push you and want you to challenge yourself and encourage you to grow, whatever that looks like for your journey. So that is just a little bit about our team. And I guess just Lindsay, do you have anything else you want to add? Or Mandy, do you have any questions or anything? Okay, well, I will end this. Thank y'all so much for being on. And again, if you're watching the recording, thank you for your time, and let's continue the conversation. Bye, y'all.